Hello, I'm Virginie Blot, PXM evangelist at Aquino. CEO Thierry Gillier's vision has driven Zadig Voltaire from its creation to becoming one of the leading French modern luxury brands. It's now time to have new investors on board, like Peninsula recently, to leverage their retail expertise and global network to help company achieve its full potential and meet growth expectations and opportunities worldwide. I'm really happy to welcome Fabien Delivre today, Global CIO at Zadig Voltaire, to tell us more about the resources you need to always adapt fast to new market challenges. Welcome, Fabien. Can you please tell us a bit about yourself and your mission at Zadig Voltaire?
Sure. Thank you, Virginie. I'm very happy to be here. So basically, I worked in a consulting company for nearly 20 years. And I did a mission at Zadig in 2019 to scope the transformation. And eventually I stayed to execute the roadmap I've designed. So we are a growing team from 6 to now 14 people internally in the IT department. And we are working also with many partners, as you can imagine, to execute the full transformation. So if I tell you a bit more about the transformation itself, we have three main topics in the transformation. One is changing the ERP. So ERP without the finance, only the commercial part of the ERP. We have another topic, which is the architecture. And our goal is to achieve a data-ready architecture. And the third pillar or topic is the omnichannel, because of course developing the omnichannel is a must in the sector. So I'm very pleased to be here to talk about the project. What I really appreciate at Zadig in this transformation is that, let's say, the mindset is really good for transformation. We have an effective support of the management team, and everyone basically is willing to change, willing to improve, so that creates a very good mindset.
This is so rare and precious, Fabien. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, you can mention it. Can you tell us maybe more about Zadig Voltaire DNA, the brand values and your business model?
So as you explained, Zadig has been created by Thierry Gillier in 1997. Our scope is the high-end fashion. We are providing some items for women, for men, but also for kids. We have a large number of items in ready-to-wear, in accessories, lifestyle, and the idea of Zadig is really about freedom and about style. So I think many people know the brand because it has a very strong image, but that's really a pleasure for me to be there.
Thank you. So some of your teammates, some of the teams at Zadig, I know have been working for nearly 3 years with the community version of Aquino. And prior to that, they used like a lot of e-commerce, marketing and merchandising team. They used to work with a lot of Excel sheets before that. And you recently switched and upgrade to the enterprise edition of Aquino. Can you please explain us what was the decision behind that and why was it for?
So really the reason is that we add Aquino more at a tactical level. It was the PIM for the digital, for the e-commerce websites. And our idea, if we look at really the business standpoint, we have a necessity today to offer a great experience regarding the product, and the information available on each touch point are key to deliver the experience. And we figured out that the best way of providing the same, let's say, digital image of the product on each touch point is to look at the same source and basically have one single source of truth. And so that was clear for us that regarding the omnichannel experience that we want to propose, we needed to have one source of truth for every touch point. After that, we have also an architecture standpoint, because as we are building a brand new data platform on Microsoft Azure. We are, of course, working on the data to clearly establish what are the transactional data, what are the master data. So, of course, let's say the big masters were part of also of our thoughts when discussing technically. So, those 2 points made it very clear for us that we needed to take Aquino and bring it up to become an enterprise information management system.
Very clear. Thank you. And so, is it used only locally? I mean, in your HQ only, or do you use it also for markets? What is your strategy, to adapt to the local markets? What's the, do you use some translation? Do you have local teams? How do you manage that? What's the goal?
Yeah, of course, we have many people working around the product information. What we decided is to start with the end of the process. So basically the customer-facing information. And starting with that, because it is very clear, we know what we want on the website, we know what we want on our partner's website, we know what we want on a label, on the cash register, we know the information we want to expose. So knowing that, it was easier for us to start by the end and just go upstream on that. If we look at the way we work with the product information, at the beginning, the style defines the product because we do our own design, and clearly this part is a question of for the style department to work. After that, it's worked both in English and French. And after that, of course, we enter an enrichment process to add more information and also to add translations. If we are talking about translations, this is mostly done internally, but we also work with partners sometimes. And we use the markets. The markets help us to translate for their own market. So the question of translation is clearly a big topic, and not only because as for now we were also working manually on the information translations, but also on the product information that are maybe not in the ERP, or so we need to add those information. So really our idea is to get less manual operation and better data quality on all touch points.
Yeah, that's also something we discussed together when we prepared the session. You told me that some teams also ask to work in Aquino, in the product information management system, but you explained them how they should think about that. You told me something about the quality team. I think that this is very interesting.
Yeah, because this is very important to define what system has what information, and to keep it very simple for the user. If he has one main system he's used to work in, then he needs to find the product information in this system. So for example, if we look at the production team at Zadig, we really feel that their tool is the ERP, so they should find all their data in the ERP. But if we look at the quality team, which is part of the production team, quality team is working also on care labels, on care instructions, and all those informations are basically necessary for the PIM. So our idea is to bring more people to work in the PIM. If their work is enrichment, if their work is only have a view on the product and do something else around the product there, then the information should be in their main system.
Yeah, you need to distinguish people that are contributing versus people that are just consuming data. That's exactly a very important key. You're right to mention it. Can you share maybe some of the improvements you have been able to achieve, but also maybe your next steps? What do you plan to do to enhance maybe with that in place?
So if we look at, so maybe not yet results because we're still in the process of the project, but I really think that what we are looking for is efficiency. As I said, less manual operations. So we want to also work on the time to market, because of course all this time needed to do the enrichment, if it's accelerated, then the time to market is better. We want to at least have a check on the data quality. I think this is very good to set in place some KPIs regarding the quality of the item cards, because we know that it has an impact on the customer. We all are looking at the information, and when it's poor, it feels not a good experience. So this is very important that we provide the good information for the customer. And one other point is regarding the marketplaces. We are of course connecting new marketplaces every year, and connecting those marketplaces, there is always a big part regarding the item, the product data. So I really think that we can also maybe accelerate by creating a technical connector that takes all those informations from the PIM and can convey to a partner and make it very seamless for us. So for me, those are the main goals we are looking for, and if we are having a look at in the future, I would say that there is one topic on the merchandising, which I think is very important, to take the opportunity to add in the PIM some relations between products. On many websites, we go and see an item, and there is a strange AI proposing something, and what it proposes is basically what you bought last week, or what you looked yesterday, or whatever. And our idea is more to use those information as a style advice, because some PCs work very well together, and this is important for us to, I think, take the opportunity to add that value in the product information management system, because today that value is in the head of our sales assistants, and that's very fine. But we think this is good also to be able to create some interactions by knowing the relation between some relations between items. One second topic which I like a lot is regarding the labels. For me, the labels are part of the experience, so we need also to push the discussion, because I think the labels could take their information in the PIM, especially the customer-facing labels, the care instructions, of course, but also some information on the price tag. We have also many constraints regarding the customs and the compliance. So maybe we can take a part of that compliance in the product information system. So that would be great, I think, to work on the labels to provide more information, better information. I don't know. And if I look at a bit further, I think that we could create also some interesting interactions with the product, maybe in store, but also when people receive their item. So yeah, they could scan, they could do things around the product and access the digital information on the website, maybe send that to a friend, or so we think that there should be some topics, some areas to maybe to innovate.
Yeah, in everything you say, we understand that you want to ease every processes and to really have a seamless experience between all the sales touch points, taking the best of each sales touch points and bringing to the other ones. And yeah, that's really something we could love as consumers, like we discussed together, like, having a pre-selected basket, and when I arrive in the shop, I can try everything that I wanted, stuff like that. And you told me that it already also exists, that you can ask to receive some clothing that you try, and you give it back to the shop. So in both ways, in all the ways, you want to ease that and to take the best of each sales point. And I really love your labels point. And we see more and more, digital native brands using like funny tags or funny things on the labels. And it's true that you keep it in mind. You have a memorable experience in a way with that labels too. And you mentioned something interesting also, Fabien, when we work together. You say that it's like today we focus a lot on the digital product, on the digital aspect of the product, and we care less maybe about the physical aspect of the product, and we start to have a gap, a discrepancy that we need to fill in, to work in. Very interesting, Fabien. Thank you for that. So maybe to sum up and to finish, I would like you to share 3 key takeaways that you could share with the audience. Maybe people are wondering, should I use this version? What should I start for? I'm about to start my project. What should I spend my energy on? So could you share with us 3 key takeaways for the audience, please?
Yeah, sure. The first takeaway is I'm using it for every project we do, is keep it standard. And this is very important. I think that trying to go fast in the transformation, we need to take the opportunity of the products that exist and just use them where they are good, and just not try to twist them and to add many things that at the end become difficult to maintain. So I would say that on this project, I still consider this is very important to be standard.
Okay.
I think the second point, and I talked a bit on that, I think this is related to the way we consider the systems, the information, and the people. So we need to have a clear map of how people, as you said, are there consumers of the data? Are they creating the data? Are they enriching the data? So this is very clear. And to set boundaries between systems. When we have too many informations duplicated in the systems, this is not good for the users. This is also maybe a source of mistake or wrong mistakes. So kind of crazy IT issues, So I think this part is very important, to set the boundaries and to clearly define what data, where it comes from, what system is master, who is doing what with this data, are people viewing the data, creating the data, etc. So this is very important, because if not, we create some overlaps, and I think that is messy also for the people working on that. And the third one is, I think we need to be very humble with what's going on. We know 2020 has been
challenging,
a year we could not imagine. So I would say that the third takeaway is really embrace agility. We need to start from one point, and starting from minimal information is needed for the customer facing. This is already something. If you start from there and then you build on top of that, and then you change, and then you come back, and so you have also a seamless process. I think this is very difficult to imagine how we will use those information in 2-3 years. So we should set the minimum and build on top, and I'm sure that will create some opportunities.
Really interesting. Thanks a lot, Fabien, for sharing all these insights with us today. I'm sure it will be helpful for people from our community who are about to start a project, to upgrade their version, or just wondering if they really need a product information management system. So I'm sure it will be very helpful. Thank you again.
Thank you, Virginie. Always happy to share on topics like this.
Thank you. And thank you for watching this video today with us. Let's meet in other great interviews, including people from our communities, providing experience from the fields, different business areas, different markets. I'm sure it can also be very insightful for you. Goodbye.